You're listening to the Co-Creator Network. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Thank you, Linda. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. It's a little bit overcast here in Austin. It's supposed to be raining most of the day. And I say, bring on the rain. Love the rain. As many of you know, this year I have been following internal guidance and not the published schedule for NTI readings or Course in Miracles readings. I have been listening to guidance, and as guidance guides me or prompts me, that's what I teach on my time slot here in Awakenings. Today, I would like to share something that I was prompted to tune into a couple of days ago. Now, first, I have to tell you that I do not normally listen to ACIM Gather when it is not my time slot. In other words, it would be unusual for me to be listening on a Friday night or a Saturday night or whatever, because usually one of two things are happening. Either I'm playing a band job, or I'm working, or I'm doing something else. So it's unusual for me to spend time listening to Gather on those time periods. However, I got the prompt to tune in to listen to Regina when she made the announcement this past weekend about Awakening Together. And as soon as I read the announcement, I knew that I had to listen, and I knew that this was something that I was going to be a part of. I don't have any idea what part I will play, if any. Maybe it's just simply to listen, or if it's something else. But I knew it was truth for me. So today, what I'd like to do is share with you the news about this gathering. I'm going to call it a gathering or an assembly of people because it is, for lack of a better word, an umbrella that embraces everyone and leaves no one out. It's not an exclusive umbrella. It's not an exclusive assembly. There are no criteria that judges anyone as unworthy or excluded. As Jeff Norbury just wrote in the room, he says, it's all inclusive. It is inclusive. Let me just share with you what Regina had posted on her room, which describes this very well. And this is the introduction. It says, there is a consistent wisdom in the universe, and it shows up in all religions and philosophy, in all cultures and throughout time. This wisdom is not unique or new. It is owned by no one and by no organization. No one has to go to a special place or special teacher to find it. It is the most abundant wisdom in the universe. Once one opens his or her heart to this wisdom, it appears everywhere by the hand of universal grace. This is also a way of not seeing universal wisdom. There is also a way of not seeing universal wisdom. We all have the ability to be distracted from it by self-limiting and segmented beliefs. Self-limiting and segmented beliefs. As many of you know, I have been a Course in Miracles student since 1988, And I have taught here in this room since 2006, awakenings every Tuesday for whatever number of years that is, 7 years, 6, 7 years. And over the years, I have discovered and adopted and added to the Course in Miracles teachings the following teachings: NTI, the inner Ramana, the law of one, not to mention the other activities that I have going on in my life, which are on a parallel path, but not necessarily spiritual. For instance, my radio show, The Most Dangerous Device, which focuses on interviewing people who are working on or have developed over unity devices, which are free energy devices. And of course, the book that I'm writing that parallels that radio show, The Most Dangerous Device in the World, which is a fictional book describing someone who invents a free energy device and the problems they run into, and the spiritual books that I'm currently writing. So lots of things are going on that parallel A Course in Miracles, but they all stem from that. And I guess one could say that before A Course in Miracles, I was listening to guidance but didn't know it via the Edgar Casey readings, or the Gem Elixirs by Garudas, Gem Elixirs and Vibrational Healing by Garudas, and many other philosophical teachings and what have you. But the reason for sharing with you about this is that the past few weeks, well, actually, I'd have to go back to the beginning of this year when I was guided to follow my internal guidance instead of a book or a teaching. For the past few months, I have been listening to guidance, and it directs me as to what to do on a day-by-day basis. And that includes this time slot here in Pal Talk, live on Co-Creator Network, and my podcast on iTunes, Awakenings. So whatever guidance I receive, I simply share. The guidance that I have been receiving lately, I must also mention that I have been reading the Dolores Cannon books. She's got about 17 books out there. Dolores Cannon, if you don't know who she is, DoloresCannon.com. Convoluted Universe is what I'm reading right now. But I started out reading, first one I read was 3 Waves of Volunteers. My point for sharing all of this with you is that the prompts and the guidance that I've been receiving lately is that there is only one of us here, and that one is coalescing. It's condensing into the one, and it is awakening. Now, I describe it that way, and it may sound like it's something outside of me or something outside of you, and it's doing this to us, but that's not it at all. It actually is us, collectively, the one, who are waking up, who are collectively remembering the truth that we are the same being. You and I are the same being. We are one. And we are actively taking steps to remove the apparent blocks that seem to be separating us as individuals, this illusion called the world. We are actively taking steps to do it. And when I listened to Regina make her presentation a few days ago, it occurred to me that this was a step towards that reunification. This is a step. This awakening together assembly. Now, is this something that is compatible with A Course in Miracles? Is it compatible with NTI? Is it compatible with Dolores Cannon's teaching? Is it compatible with the Law of One teachings? You know, if you look for differences, you will find many seemingly conflicted differences between the teaching of the Law of One and A Course in Miracles and NTI and the studies that Dolores Cannon is doing and the free energy movement. And I have to add the disclosure movement also. The disclosure movement, I don't know if you know what that is, but there is a movement to disclose the fact that we are not alone in the universe and that we are being visited and have been visited for many thousands of years, and it's being hidden from us, which is related to the energy situation on the planet. One may ask themselves, well, how can these all be related, and how can we resolve all these seemingly different things that seem to be conflicted and seem to be saying different things, but are sort of related? And what I'm finding is that they are exactly the same thing. There is no difference between the movement to disclose the fact that we have been visited for hundreds, if not thousands of years. There is no difference between the fact that there is an entity, or actually not an entity, but a group of people that are hiding the existence of free energy devices so that they can keep the planet in prison. This illusion, the illusion that we live in. There is no difference between that and the teachings of the Law of One. There's no difference between the Law of One and A Course in Miracles, or NTI. If you open your mind to the possibility that you do not know everything, and you open your mind to the possibility that your interpretation of the current understanding of your teaching could be limited, if you open your mind to the possibility that you could not know everything, you may not know everything. If you're open to that possibility, what I am finding is that there is a common thread between all of those things. And the common thread is that we are moving towards awakening and reunifying, the reunification of the sonship. And the first step is the acceptance of all without judgment. That's the first step. So I'm going to continue to read about awakening together because I believe it is a first step. It's not the only step. It's not, maybe not the first step. It is a step towards this reunification. And I must also clarify that we're not really reunifying because we've never separated. It's actually a mental thing. We are awakening by changing our mind and seeing and releasing the blockages that seem to be separating us. Awakening Together is an online universal assembly of peers dedicated to recognizing and embracing universal wisdom, regardless of the form in which it appears. We are also dedicated to recognizing the ways we deny universal wisdom by adopting personal beliefs and biases. We want to recognize these limitations so we can free ourselves from them and open to the continuous flow of universal wisdom. What a wonderful opening statement. What a wonderful thing. I'm going to continue to read. It says, the purpose of Awakening Together is the following. We are an assembly of equals, joined in common purpose, awakening to one true self. Within an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, many symbols, and I would like to add, and also many beliefs. We seek to discern one truth and to rest in its embrace. Remembering, you probably realize, as I have realized, or I hope you have, that all beliefs are decisions. Beliefs are changeable and they're malleable. In other words, beliefs change, and therefore, according to the Course's teaching, anything that changes is not real. It's an illusion. So belief must be illusion, and it must not be true. Beliefs are not true. End of story. Period. What you believe is simply what you believe. So we have an organization, or we have a framework for the ability for people who have made the decision to no longer be separate, to join together in purpose to reunify. This is the framework. This is a possible step one could take for the realization that we are all one. Does it replace your current belief? No, doesn't have to. Does it replace your current teaching? No, doesn't have to. It's all inclusive. Do you have to be a member in order to awaken? No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, you can awaken right now, this very moment, this very instant, without anything, without the Course in Miracles, without NTI, without the Inner Romana, without reading anything, without doing anything. Simply give up your beliefs and allow truth to permeate your existence. End of story. That's it. Nothing is needed to awaken except to release and let go and accept truth. However, if you are an individual that, I won't say requires, or chooses to believe that they must have other individuals of similar beliefs in order to take that step of reunification, this could be a possible path for you. Now, there are some core values within this organization, and I think they're important enough for me to actually go over them and share them with you. By the way, all of these core values will be found on reginadawnakers.com site. They will also be available on my site, LarySeyer.com, in my Course in Miracles section, my Awakenings Teaching Radio section, LarySeyer.com /ACIM. So I'm going to go through these and share them with you today. We trust everyone is led by unique inner guidance to one experience called awakening, which is realization of one true self. The premise is that we accept everything as perfect, and we are all headed toward remembering the truth of who we are. And continuing reading, it says, we live this value by supporting one another on different paths of awakening. In other words, Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, Course in Miracles students, NTI students, atheists, and ignorance. They're all inclusive within this organization. All inclusive. All inclusive. We support each other. One of the things that I have learned is that every person is exactly where they need to be at this moment, whether or not it is studying A Course in Miracles, or whether or not it is being a devout Muslim, or a devout Christian, or firmly believing in the non-existence of God, an atheist. Every path Every path, every one of those seemingly different paths is headed toward the same end, the same goal. It may appear that they are different, but they are all heading towards the same goal, which is what? Truth. All of us are seeking truth. Every one of us is seeking truth. The only thing that's changing is the path that we are taking to get there. And that's an illusion. Truth, remember, is defined as that which does not change. Truth does not change. That means that if we that seem to be on different paths are looking for truth, whether or not we are an atheist or a Christian, a Catholic, a Jew, a Muslim, whatever, they're all seeking truth. Every one of them. Every one of us. So let's go on to point 2 of this core values. Point 2 is, we realize everyone is equal and no one has been given spiritual intuition that is an authority over the spiritual intuition of others. What a wonderful statement. Simply means all of us are equal. There is no leader. One of the things that I have learned over the past few years is that pyramidal structures are inherently flawed. Pyramidal structures, and I would define most religions as pyramidal structures, most governments as pyramidal structures, the monetary system as a pyramidal structure. The pyramidal structure I'm describing here is you have a top of a pyramid, and it is in control of the things underneath it. You've got, let's say, like for instance, in our government, you've got a president, and you've got people beneath him, and you've got people beneath that, and then you've got little peons like us. In a monetary system, you've got the international bankers, International Monetary Fund, you've got all these different large banks spread across the world, and you have individual banks in each country, then you have little banks in the city, and then the people. So that's what I mean by a pyramidal structure, a top-down leader rules mentality. However, in contrast, what this organization, point number 2, is saying is that there is no leader. There is no pyramidal structure. We are all equal. We all possess all of the knowledge. All of us possess all of the knowledge. And our goal and our job, our function, is to assist our brothers and sisters in the path that they are currently taking to find truth. That's it. Our job is to assist. It's not to say you're wrong or I'm right, or to say that, oh, well, you're right and I must be wrong. No, neither. It is to assist. Remember, every path is valid, and all paths without exception lead to truth. All paths lead back to the one, because there's nowhere else to go. There is no pyramid. There is no pyramid. If everything is equal and everything is one, there is no pyramid. There is no shape. There is no math. There's no degrees of separateness. There's no better than, less than. There's no up or down. It's all equal. So we are simply removing the self that is insisting on being right and offering assistance to our brothers and sisters in whatever form that they need at that particular moment, whether it be the atheist, or whether it be Catholic, or whether it be Jew, or Muslim, Hindu, Course in Miracles, NTI, whatever the belief system is for that individual at that particular time, we offer assistance and support. Not trying to correct them, not trying to judge them, simply offer support. Now, point number 2, we live this value by listening to each other respecting each other, and allowing each one to be where he or she is. That's exactly what I just described. We support them where they are. Point number 3, we accept one true self, which is one presence or being, non-dual, without beginning or end, and absolutely changeless. This is essentially describing the goal, truth. One may ask, well, then how is it possible? If I believe that there is no one true self, and you believe that there is a true self, how is it possible that we could possibly help each other? And the answer to that question is the acceptance of the other individual and where they are. If they believe that there is no one true self, then you accept them exactly like they are. You don't try to say, well, that's wrong because there is only one of us here and blah, blah, blah. No. Okay. They are where they need to be. Accept them where they are. We live this value by practicing letting go of the belief in the individual self as who we are. And what does that mean? It's the elimination of self. Remember, all self is the insistence on being right. It is the blockage. It is a stumbling block that prevents truth from re-entering your awareness. If you insist on being right, how can truth possibly flow over you? Anyway, moving on. Point number 4. We affirm one true self as the only truth. Again, how could it possibly work if the core value is we believe in one true self and somebody else does not believe in one true self? You accept them where they are, which may mean they don't have anything to do with this organization, which implies and also says that there will be no fundraisers, there will be no revivals, there will be no petitions to get new members, there will be no membership drive. We accept everything and everyone as they are without wanting them to change. It's acceptance. Point number 4, we live this value by embracing what is helpful on the path of awakening without idolizing any spiritual doctrine as truth. That actually says that Course in Miracles is no more true than atheism. Catholicism is no more true than Judaism. Hindu is no more true than being a Muslim. And if you dare to glimpse into the possibility that that could be true, you will see that truth cannot shine through a facility that it claims to have a hold on it. Truth is, and the only way we're going to see truth is to give up our insistence on being right. The 5th and final value, core value for this Awakening Together assembly is we accept all forms of temporary appearances permitted through enduring awareness of self. And we live this value by honoring all appearances and all experiences while continually reflecting on changeless truth. Another way of saying that is that no matter what the form, no matter if it's an 80-year-old man, a 20-year-old beautiful woman, a crippled who cannot get out of a wheelchair, or a perfectly formed athlete, they are all on the same path. And we support each and every one of them with love.